Hey everyone, thanks for stopping by the movie Hangout. Jussie Smollett gets away with it. I cannot believe this. Ugh, makes me so freaking mad. For any of you that have been living under a rock, Jussie Smollett is an actor. The earliest movie that he was in, he was like basically a glorified extra in the first Mighty Ducks. Now he was a regular on the show Empire, and this freaking guy was getting paid $125 to $150,000 an episode on the show Empire. That wasn't good enough for him though. So what he did was he came up with the idea to be a victim, because if you're a victim now in America, you are suddenly you're like holy, you're like innocent, like there's nothing you can do that is wrong. Everyone comes to your aid. Everybody gives you opportunities. So he came up with this idea to be a victim of a hate crime. The problem is that there's a huge demand for Nazis in America, but the supply is extremely low. So what he did was he had to outsource racial hatred. So what this guy did was, and let me just say this: America, especially white Americans, have become so racially tolerant, so racially loving, that now you have to pay Nigerians to be racist against you because there aren't enough white people to be racist against you. So Jussie Smollett, what he did was he couldn't find anybody white to beat him up because most white people are good people. So he paid two Nigerian bodybuilders. I'm not making this up. This is not an SNL skit. He paid two Nigerian bodybuilders to not even beat him up, slap him around, because you don't want to mess up your face for a close up. To slap him around, they wore ski masks and MAGA hats, which I don't know who would wear a hat on top of a ski mask, let alone a bright red hat. The whole thing backfired because the two Nigerians were caught on camera buying the bleach, the rope, the ski masks, the whole shebang on a convenience store security camera. And they had a check, a written check from Jussie Smollett with his signature on it. How freaking stupid are you that you write a check to somebody that you're paying to commit a crime? I mean, that is the dumbest thing ever. But he did that. So they had the video evidence, they had the written check with just Jesse's spot on autograph signature. They also had the text messages and phone records of Jesse. He called the two bodybuilders before the attack and immediately after the attack. He didn't call the cops immediately after. He called these two bodybuilders, because that's what you do when you get beat up by two white nationalists. You call two Nigerian bodybuilders. I mean, unbelievable. The Nigerian bodybuilders, I got to give it to them, for being criminals, are extremely honest. They spilled the beans immediately to the Chicago PD, and they told them exactly what Jesse's plan was. They showed the check. They explained that they actually are ecstasy dealers for Jussie Smollett, and Jussie kind of gave them a proposal to make more money. And they also said that they themselves are not racist, even though Jussie Smollett is, and they themselves do not hate our country or our president, even though Jussie Smollett does. So the prosecutors had this case hook, line, and sinker. I mean, there was literally the only piece of evidence they could have had, which would be more damning, would be video footage of Jesse punching himself in the face. That is the only other thing they could have possibly had, but they had enough. They had more than any other case in history. And what happened was, and I hate getting so political about this, but entertainment has turned into a dog shit pile of politics. I cannot fucking stand it anymore. I can't watch a fucking movie. I can't watch a fucking TV show without people going on political rants. I just want to watch a fucking story. That's it. I don't want to hear about your fucked up political views. So anyway, this is how corrupt Jussie Smollett is in our justice system in Chicago. An aide to Michelle Obama, that's how deep this goes. An aide to Michelle Obama called the prosecutor and pulled a bunch of strings to get this dude off, because Jussie Smollett is a super left-wing activist. He has deep ties with the Obama administration, with Jesse Jackson, with a lot of people on the left in politics and also in entertainment. So of course, he's a sacred cow. You can't do anything to him, and you know he. I mean, this is just so infuriating. I mean, it really is. So out of nowhere, the judge and the prosecutor get together and they basically tell him this: it's obvious that you're guilty. So what you're going to do is all you have to do is surrender your bond. His bond is only $10,000. Jussie Smollett makes $125,000 to $150,000 an episode. To put in perspective, an episode of network television is about a week worth worth of work, and that's if you work every day. A lot of actors don't even work every day on network television. They might work 3 days. So basically, in half of a day's worth of work is what he gave up. Not even that. Less than a tenth of his weekly paycheck is what he gave up. $10,000. And on top of that, to do 15 hours of community service. Now, the community service he did was he helped audition and put together a choir, a singing choir for his friend Jesse Jackson's uh, activist group. Okay, so I mean, honestly, this would be like you. Uh, can you imagine you creating a race hoax, and then the judge says to you, "Hey, just give up $10." That's basically what it would be to you. Give up $10, or give up 100 here, pay $100 fine, and then go hang out with your friend for 15 hours. That's what he got. And then the judge, on top of that, sealed all the evidence in the documents. So now, nobody can look to see what the evidence was in its entirety. Nobody can comb through it now. And so that protects him even further. And then immediately after, Jussie did a press conference and claimed his innocence, where he is not innocent. He is guilty. He took the lesser penalty than going to prison for several years because he had 16 felons, 16 freaking felonies. Can you believe that? Oh, God, it makes me so mad. So anyway, the Hollywood Reporter did an article here. Chicago Prosecutor says he doesn't believe Jussie Smollett is innocent. No kidding. And it goes through it here. It goes through basically all the different felony cases. It goes through. He had to forfeit his $10,000 bond to the city of Chicago, which is a joke because Jussie took up probably $100,000, a couple $100,000 at least in time paid to different police officers, maybe even millions of dollars, because people were actually looking for two neo Nazis. Absolutely ridiculous. This guy gets away with it. And then what pisses me off even more is his employer. Let's go over to Empire right here. So this is a verified Empire writers Twitter page. Okay, so this is for the writers to the show Empire that he was employed on, and Jussie is still smack dab right here. Smack dab right in the middle of their profile picture. This whole thing is just rubbing it in and gloating. Okay? If you go through this, they're just rubbing everybody's face in the fact that this guy got away with potentially sending two innocent white guys to prison for the rest of their lives so he could get paid more. I mean, it's freaking ridiculous. So here on the, let's see here, we got on the 25th, count us in, happy, we got waffles, and they got see y'all Wednesday, Empire Fox, and then they got a screenshot here of CNN. Prosecutors drop all charges against actor Jussie Smollett. And then they're retweeting people that were on the show. Woo, shout out to all those of us who were smart enough to sit through and eat through all the Jussie Smollett drama. And then here's an official statement here. Our son and brother is an innocent man. He's not an innocent man, dude. He's not an innocent man. Even the judge and the prosecutor acknowledge he's not innocent. Whose name and character have been unjustly smeared. He smeared it himself. It's a racial hate crime hoax. I hope you people understand what this means. There are people that have been murdered because of racial hate crimes. Okay, there have been people that have been killed because of their race. And then there have been people that have been killed as a retaliation. If you remember in LA, the Rodney King riot started because Rodney King was high driving, a black man, and he was pulled over by white police officers and he got beat, the crap got kicked out of him. He got beat up because he was driving high. And people took video footage of it and they put it all over the news. And then literally there were buildings burned down. I think it was like 4 to 7 people got killed in LA during the Rodney King riot. So people died. People died because of a hate crime. This guy wanted to create a hate crime to boost his career so he could be like some modern day Malcolm X or something. I mean, how sick is this? Absolutely disgusting that this guy would even be welcomed back by his employer. I mean, honestly, we have to hold people accountable. We have to hold people accountable. If it was a white guy doing the same thing to black people, I would say this dude can never work again in this business. Never again. And also on top of that, he is a racist. Plain and simple, racist. And we have to get used to calling people what they are. That is a racist thing to do. He smeared an entire race of people. And he also discriminated against people based on their political beliefs. People that are conservative, people that are registered Republican, which is a vast majority of the country. Awful. I mean, this guy is he's not only a racist, he's a bigot. And he's being welcomed on this network show. I mean, that just pisses me off. What do you think about it? Is there anything we can do to put pressure on Empire so that they can actually do the right thing and not celebrate and back a racist and a bigot? Because that's what this is. This isn't like somebody that has a different opinion about religion, which is, I don't care if you were an atheist or you're whatever religion you are. Don't be a bigot. And I don't care, if you have you know, pride in your ancestors or pride in your culture, that's fine. But don't be a racist. Don't target a group of people for your own political gain or own financial gain, which is exactly what this scumbag did. Comment below, let me know. What do you think? Is there anything we can do to put pressure on Jussie Smollett? I mean, I just want this freaking guy to go away. I hate bigots and racists. I really do. Let me know what you think about this. Are you pissed off too? And as always, like I just had to get this out because, look, I love entertainment. I love movies. I love writing. I love acting. I love the whole thing. I've done it for a long time. But when a bigot and a racist like this is able to prosper, not only get by, but prosper, he's making more in a week than most people do in a year. Put that in perspective, and he's still ungrateful, still hateful. God help us if he gets more power. Anyways, thanks for listening. And as always, if you want to get future rants, reviews, or original content, click subscribe. Later.